And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us. That is not a robot podcast. That is who we are. We are not robots, despite what the people tell you. Don't listen to them. They are robots.
Mm,
They are
truth.
robots.
Exactly. Okay, so we are picking back up with our reviews in our full dive section, despite the fact that it's pretty much been the whole show anyway, thanks to me. Silly
Yeah,
Rob.
oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
We are going to jump into space with Batman number 130, and Brandon is going to tell us about that one.
My pleasure. Yes, this is Batman 130, the final chapter in the Failsafe arc, the first arc of the new run on Batman, brought to us, of course, by Chip Zdarsky with art from Jorge Jimenez, colors from Tomo Murray, and letters from Clayton Cowles. Batman, in an unbelievable feat of accomplishment, manages to survive his fall from space and crash lands in the Arctic. Yes, that really happened. If you want to find out how, read the book for yourself. No, it won't make sense. He makes his way somehow to the Fortress of Solitude, where Tim Drake is still looking after Superman following his battle with Failsafe, informing them that Failsafe is coming and that he has a plan to overwrite Failsafe's code and stop him. Batman and Tim gear up for their final assault, with Superman leading the initial charge. Though Failsafe gets the upper hand on Superman again, Batman is able to upload the nanovirus into Failsafe. For a moment, it seems to work, but Failsafe quickly overloads it, killing all hopes of defeating him. Batman realizes there's only one way that this ends, with his death. In a moment of damn near self-sacrifice, Batman accepts his fate, and Failsafe vaporizes him, leaving Tim inconsolable. But it may not be all as it appears to be, as a tattered and broken man in the suit of a bat appears in an alley somewhere. Our backup story, I Am the Gun, is in its last chapter as well. This is also by Chip Zdarsky, with art from Leonardo Romero, colors by Jordi Blair, and letters also from Clayton Cowles. With the Zur-En-Arrh persona now in control of Batman's body, Zur-En-Arrh brutally beats up Joker while Batman watches from a distance, trying to rationalize with his new violent persona. It seems as though all is lost when a memory of Martha Wayne steps in and reminds her son that he is not this violent psychopath, but Bruce Wayne, son of Thomas and Martha. With this, Bruce regains control over his body just in time to save the Joker from a deadly fall. Later, Bruce realizes that he must be a safety for the gun that he is, and with Robin by his side, he can temper that darkness more easily. There's always something lurking under the surface, just out of sight. And that's how we end that backup story. As for the main story, ignoring all the laws of physics, particularly the laws around thermodynamics and literally anything related to gravity, the rest of the issue functions fairly well. And I think as a setup for what comes next, it's going to be really interesting to see how all this plays out. We've seen Batman, dead with about 50 quotation marks around it. But this time I think will be a little bit different, just because he's not traveling through time. He's not, going undercover, although he probably might be. He's just kind of adrift, and we'll have to see how that is. Plus, he's, incredibly damaged, and who knows how he's going to be able to patch that up, given that he's pretty much going to be isolated from everyone. So it should be an interesting new perspective, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Zdarsky plays all that out. I Am a Gun, I thought, ended about as well as it could. This peek into the year one of Zur-En-Arrh, as they're calling it. And a really nice way to kind of tie everything together, but definitely sort of an unsettling ending. Seeing, that even though he's able to kind of temper his violent personality, it's still there lurking under the surface, and he's going to have to wrestle with that, which we obviously know, and it's kind of like a wink and a nod. We, the reader, obviously know that he is going to have to wrestle with that in a couple years' time when he goes through Batman R.I.P., and Simon Hurt, basically activates that trigger word. So it's almost like, yeah, it is under the surface, and just wait until it resurfaces its ugly head once more. But the first story, really phenomenal way to end it. Art is impeccable, as always. And I know Batman falling from space and surviving will drive people up a wall. It nearly did me, and I hate physics. But the rest of it, I think the emotional core was good. So I gave the main story a 9 out of 10 and the backup story an 8.5. Composite score of roughly 8.75, but I'm in a generous mood, so I'll give the whole issue a 9 out of 10. What did you guys think?
What the fuck just happened?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. The whole
No
issue was a
shit.
bit of a mind fuck. At least for the first part with the falling from space. As cool as it was at the end, you're just like, no, no, that's not how this works.
No.
No.
What are you doing?
No,
I mean, it is comic
I
books at the end of the day, so you can kind
yeah,
of give it some space, but it's like,
I
all right,
I
we
can
got to draw a line at
forgive.
some point. This
You
is
got to
like
give
Looney
it.
Tunes logic.
You have to
Yeah,
give it some space, but the fact that
Yeah.
Bruce can sail down to Earth from space without burning up, that's
Yeah, and ignoring
that's more than
re-entry
giving it some
aside,
space.
yeah, even if his, I know this sounds like total like Glavin pushing up my glasses, like but
No,
that type
it
of
doesn't.
nerd,
It's
but
common sense
like
shit.
even ignoring re-entry, like there's no way that the tensile strength of any cape would be enough to slow down a descent that much that you would not fall and
no,
crush every single bone in your body. But the
for
man
sure.
just
Absolutely
gets
not.
up and shakes it off like nothing.
Yeah,
Oh,
like yeah, I
You would
can
need a
forgive
parachute the
the
size of an airplane to
yeah.
even have a hope of slowing down your descent.
I can
yeah.
forgive the stuff in space with the oxygen tank because
Mhm.
for what we know of space, that makes sense, right? With the
Mhm.
pressure and the release and slowing and speeding up and whatnot. I get that. Um, and the passing out, yeah, totally, I get that. But yeah, the re-entry just makes no sense. I get
Yeah.
your cape and your trunks for some reason are heat resistant, but you're not. Why didn't you pass out from the heat? I don't
Yeah.
I told
remember the
Superman that
exact
trunks were good.
temperature, but I do remember thinking like when I read what the temperature of the surface can be when you're going into re-entry of a like a ship or something,
Mhm.
it's insanely high. No human can stand that.
Yeah, it's like
I
near
don't care
melting
who
point,
you
I
are.
think, which
Yeah,
is
which
ungodly
is
hot.
insane. Yeah,
And that's
there's
melting point
no
for
way.
metal, not like a human body, which is a lot weaker and susceptible to
Exactly.
heat.
It just makes no freaking sense. And as somebody pointed out online, so his suit can survive, but his mask didn't. Okay.
I don't know. Like, the more you try and question it, the less it makes sense. So I was just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I give up.
And then, like you said with the cape, there's no way that cape would be able to slow his descent enough. The boy that he still even made a sound when he landed and then just stood up, brushed the snow off, and like, all right, Leo, let's go. I'm safe now. No, you fucking aren't. You should be dead.
Him and Space
God.
Ghost off panel had recently designed a new cape. Space Ghost.
Does the cape go coast to coast?
Yes, it does.
There you go.
I'll be here all week, folks. Try the video. After that, I was all for it. Like that was an exciting intro, as much as it doesn't make a lot of sense. Um, but after that, I was like, okay, I'm prepared for this fight. Let's go. With Superman and then Tim and Bruce going out in costume. Like, okay, I as cheesy as it was, I love the line like this robot failsafe was designed to defeat Batman, but he's not prepared to defeat Batman and Robin. Okay, Bruce, semantics, sure.
All right, all right,
this
all right, buddy.
this reminds me a lot of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. No man can defeat me. I am no man. Okay, thanks. Cheers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Uh,
I feel
yeah.
so inspired now.
I loved it. It made me complaining a lot, but I freaking loved it. I'm gonna be honest with you. And the backup, finishing off the Zeranar year one was fantastic. Just showing how insane that personality is. Oh goodness. I honestly I gave this a 9.25 out of 10. As much as science was basically shot in the head, like it's named Thomas or Martha, um, I still enjoyed it.
Where do you hear that name?
Poor Isaac Newton is spinning in his grave.
Yeah.
I don't think he
Oh,
would care
boy.
about Batman, to be honest.
I don't know. I think he'd be fascinated. Like, how did you do that? I want to know.
Yes.
He'd be like Martin Scorsese talking about comic book movies.
Yeah, and it's sort of like as he's drafting his Principia, and is trying to really lay the groundwork on the laws of physics, particularly around gravity. He's like, well, I got to put in a little caveat that says screw all of that. Batman breaks all laws. It's just like it's like your trump card where it's like, okay, here's how things normally work, but then also fuck you because Batman can do anything.
These are the laws of physics, except if your name is Bruce Wayne.
Yes. Then you can just break that shit, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he breaks the kayfabe, and we find out that all of the flying superheroes have been secretly allowed to fly, empowered to fly by farts.
Did you just say kayfabe?
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, that,
breaking kayfabe. Fucking hell! I thought I heard it all.
They keep up an act that it's a superhero ability, and really it's just super bad gas.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
but
what better way to slow your descent, right? Batman.
That's what it
Very
is.
true.
Yeah, that's why you never see him having any bat Beano. But all of the art in this was just so nice to look at for front and backup. I got to be honest, 2 issues: Batman's re-entry into Earth. We've already been over that. Batman getting zapped by Failsafe. There's a crater left behind. To me, there's only 2 things that could have happened. One, he was teleported to someplace, another area. I kind of got some Crime Alley vibes from it, but not really.
Yeah.
I didn't see the theater. It just kind of felt that way. So I don't know if he had a, at the very last 10th of a second, Batman pressed the button that teleported him someplace and he fell out of the sky or some shit.
Yeah.
Or, oh yeah, that's really it. There's no other explanation for him to be able to survive. There's a fucking crater left behind.
Yeah.
That said, I still had a fucking good time reading it. It was a fun issue. It was entertaining. And if I'm not reading it like I am the newspaper, I just thought of Herschel Walker. My bad. I'm sorry. It's a Georgia thing. Anyway, excuse me. It was a fun book, and the like Brandon said, the backup ended it as good as it could. Altogether, I gave the whole thing a 7.25 out of 10.
Fair enough. Yeah, I forgot. I actually had a theory about that as well, and this again goes to the Batman is always prepared scenario, that maybe he knew Failsafe would go for that weapon, so he rejigged it or whatever to go to teleportation mode or something. I don't know. Either that or he knew what it was. And my other question coming out of this is, where does Failsafe go now? His objective, its objective is done, and is complete, but where does it go? Does it just go back to the cave and lay dormant, or does it go self-destruct, or does it go be a hero now? Because, okay, you killed Batman. Now who's going to protect Gotham, jackass? Like,
nope, he's going to go to Tahiti.
God, not Tahiti. It's a wonderful place.
He'll be drinking Mai Tais on the beach.
Exactly.
Okay. We'll see where that goes. I feel like we should see Failsafe again one day, but another part of me says never again. I don't know.
That's we're assuming that this is the end of the arc.
I did say Failsafe finale, so I'm going based on that.
Okay, so I mean this particular arc, but I don't know if that in the next arc that Failsafe won't also be featured, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be some sort of bigger conclusion than what we got.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we'll see in the future. Actually, in the new year, because it's December. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now we are going to, speaking of New Year and Christmas, It's very religious. So we may
Indeed,
as well
it
talk
is.
about a religious title in a way. The
Yes,
Sword of
God will be
Azrael.
pleased.
Yeah. Number 5, which was brought to us on writing duties, Dan Waters with art from Nicola Cismezia and Pablo M. Calar, with colors from
I did a
Marisa
little
Louise.
research the other day, and I found out that the actual pronunciation is Nikola Cismezge. So say
So it
that
is
5 times
okay.
fast.
Yeah.
Smezchik.
Yeah.
I did that too, and I couldn't
Chismezge.
get it, and I
Yeah,
forgot, and I was like, it's Cismezia. Okay. I
yeah. I
think if I
believe it
remember right,
is
I believe it's
Slovakian,
Croatian,
but don't quote me.
Slovakian. Oh,
Or
okay.
Croatian, sorry. Or it might be
Yeah.
Slovakian. Something
Maybe
like
I
that.
could be wrong. It was weeks ago I looked it up, so I don't really remember. Don't quote me. Right, colors are from Marissa Louise, and letters are from Hassan Otsmane El Hao. So basically, I do not remember her name, and I did not get a chance to look it up. But the woman at the beginning of the series, who also is supposedly an angel, is now clad in her own angel armor, complete
Sorry.
with.
Soriel.
No, I meant like the her human name, not the angel name.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Brielle,
Yeah.
I believe.
Oh, okay, Brielle.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she's now clad in her own angel armor, complete with nails and glue and all sorts of shit into her body, which is making her bleed all over the place. It can't be comfortable. How is she not passing out? I don't understand that.
Through the power of God.
Yes, the god of
Yeah.
it's the power of God and anime on
Some-
her side.
Yeah, yeah. God and anime and some very, very
Yeah.
powerful sedatives, I imagine.
That's gotta be sedatives. Horse tranquilizers even.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or is
so she is ready to go with whatever the plan may be for her to be a new knight of the Templars. Meanwhile, Jean Paul Valley has made his way back to the castle where, um, oh my god, the Father Valley, wow, I can't believe I forgot his freaking name, is residing, giving himself 100 lashes, 40 lashes, however many lashes it is, for his prayer. And Jean
penance.
Paul is understandably upset, screaming, Why are you using my name? Your brother Carl, what's going on?" So they have it out. They have a little discussion, bring up the Order of Saint Dumas, and then Father Valley gets out his whip and is ready to beat down. So he brings the fight to Jean Paul. Meanwhile, Jean Paul and Azrael, the angel within his mind, it's getting really confusing.
The
Program,
system.
the system, whatever it is,
It's the
are
system.
just it's having a whole Banner Hulk moment from Infinity War where he just doesn't want to come out because he's having an existential crisis. It's so Jean Paul's on his own, but he's not going to go down just sitting there, right? He's going to fight back, but he's no match for Father Valley. So Father Valley keeps whipping the hell out of him and eventually wins. Meanwhile, Sariel has come back from a mission where she discovered, excuse me, and brought back the mother box of lore that basically started this whole journey with Azrael. And for re, further machinations that will happen, they're going to awaken more angels and various people, and things are just going to get worse. Also on their team still is Vengeance, which I think is still very interesting. Meanwhile, Father Valley and John Paul are still going at it. I say going at it, but Father Valley is going at it. John Paul is bleeding on the floor. It's not going well. Uh,
To say the
However,
least.
Jean Paul has just about had enough, and through some Dragon Ball bullshit, he powers up, punches Father Valley in the face a couple of times, and then just starts screaming. And then you see an interior monologue between Azrael and Jean Paul, where Jean Paul is like, Azrael, just like, come on, like, just, come on, like, come on. It's fine. You're gonna lose sometimes. Just come on, let's fight
Come
it.
on.
So Azrael wakens up as Jean Paul is looking at Father Valley over to basically tell him, like, you're done. I killed Satan. I'm good. As Father Valley looks up at Jean Paul and sees not just the body of Jean Paul standing there glowing, but also the angel Azrael shining. And as that ends, Azrael takes over and vows to bring Father Valley onto his side so they can finish off the Order and the Templar, Knights of the Templar, once and for all, to be concluded next issue. Still a great read. Almost makes me want an Azrael ongoing, because this might be, and I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I have not read all of Nightfall, but this might be the best Azrael story I've read. I am completely sold
I
on
think
the story.
the classic Sword of Azrael is still up there as like an underrated classic, but this is close.
Sure.
This is definitely close.
I definitely haven't read
Yep.
everything from Azrael, Nightfall or not. Like, I started reading Azrael maybe 10 years ago. So
you should read that, and you should also read the one
yeah.
shot from Death Metal.
Yeah, if you haven't read the original Sword of Azrael from Denny O'Neil and Joe Quesada, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
I picked up
check it out.
well, not the collected edition, but some guy was selling the 4-issue series at C2E2, and I picked it up because I'd always been curious about it. It was a really good read, I have to say, like better than I thought it was going to be. So I would definitely recommend it, and really good art from like an early Joe Quesada if you're a fan.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's pretty good. I much prefer him as an artist over an editor in chief.
As do many
as
people.
I'm sure many people, yeah.
Yes.
I've said before, and I'll say it again, I am loving the anime influence in this book, though. It fits so freaking perfectly. It's crazy. The art is just brilliant. Cismezija, you're amazing. I want to see more of your stuff. I want to read more books that you're featured in. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I'm just loving this title. I don't want it to end, but as things happen, all things come to an end. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm right there with you, Rob. I stepped over you. But no, I'm right there with you, Rob. I would say it almost makes me wish for an Azrael ongoing, but it's not even almost. Like, I just wish we could have an Azrael ongoing. Like, I feel there's enough gas here for a regular series, and I would love to see what they could do with the second arc. But I think the point of them extending the series might have already passed unless we get a miracle next month. But no, I'm right there with you. It's just a phenomenal read, and definitely I hope it's getting the attention that it deserves. I don't know how much people are talking about it, but I hope it's good things, because it's definitely there. And we talked very highly about Arkham City Order of the Worlds, and now Sword of Azrael is right up there. And I feel like, Dan Waters knocks it out of the park with these excellent 6-issue series, and I'm hoping he just gets something sustained, something ongoing in the future. So fingers crossed. But aside from that, my other compliments echo yours, Rob. Love the art from Cismezija. Really great stuff there. Definitely see the anime influence, and I also hope that he gets to do more stuff in the DCU very soon. So this one got an 8.75 out of 10 for me.
Hell yeah. Man, I spent this whole book like, whoa. But before I go any further, we all agreed that there's like this anime influence that we saw in this art. There was a cartoon back from when I was a kid. Kind of a silly cartoon. It was a fun one to watch, but it was about, it was kind of, maybe it was Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. There was like this long-faced knight kind of dude with a weird-looking helmet on. And,
I know what you're talking about. I had a book about it. There was a video game too.
Dragon something?
Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair. There we go. Yep.
Yeah.
And this animation, or this illustration, the art in this book reminds me of that cartoon.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. But everyone knew that Father Valley had some kind of connection to Azrael, but the fact that he's a stepbro, that kind of caught me off guard. Are they now going to be the celestial duo?
Something like that. The holy
Something
duo.
like that.
Something
the
religious.
Holy duo.
Yeah.
I like what they did bonding the metal to Sariel. I like what they did with Father Valley and Azrael and Jean Paul sharing one mind is cool as hell. I really dig this. I really like what they're doing here. They took a character that I honestly haven't cared about in like 20 years and made him a monthly must read, and it's sad that next month is the last chance I can read. I gave this one a 9 out of 10, man.
So
Solid
Super,
friggin'
super good stuff. But I highly recommend you read all 3 arcs of the Nightfall saga.
I've
and
wanted
the
to.
original
It's
Sword of
just
Azrael.
huge.
Yeah.
Yes, and the original Sword of Azrael as well.
I still have to
Which I
commit
think
to.
is...
I have to find the time still to commit to my read every single issue of Green Lantern, starting with Showcase 22. I'm still
Whoa.
still
You're not
down
starting from
on
the
that.
Golden Age or All American Comics
No,
number 27.
I
whatever it
could,
is.
but I figure I
Yeah, you
might do
could.
that later because I actually have access to a lot of those issues.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Did you know this
I
is going to be
I
a
might do
minor
it
point
later.
because I know we gotta, because I know we gotta keep it moving. But did you know I think it might have been like because I was bored during the summer, like my sophomore year or something, and I wrote down every single creative team from the beginning of the Green Lantern title to I think it was at that point Grant Morrison was about to start their run. Um, have I ever sent you that list? I
No,
don't think I have.
I don't think I've
I
seen
can
that.
shoot it over to you. I took out a notepad and I just wrote it all out.
Everything, yeah. Well, from All
Yeah.
American Comics onwards.
Yep.
Right on. Yeah, I want to see
I have to
that.
send you a picture of that when I can find it.
Is it just a list of names, or do you have like the years they were active as well?
I have everything.
Oh shit!
Actually, matter of fact, while you guys introduce the next book, let me see if I can find it and I'll send a picture.
Right on.
Yeah,
Perfect.
as a
All
matter of
right,
fact,
well,
Rob, I am sending you the link from Comic Book Herald where our buddy Nate is at. I'm gonna send this to you, the link to the collected reading order of the entire Nightfall thing.
sick.
It's basically Nightfall, Night Quest, and Night Send, but there's a couple
Right.
of books that are in between that I think are just as good, and those are the books you're gonna want to read, man.
Okay.
I enjoyed every issue.
I think my dad had one of them, because I think I remember as a kid seeing it on the bookshelf, like when they collected volumes. It might be in the basement somewhere. One day,
Probably
I'll get around to
Nightfall. That's the one everybody
There we
really
go.
wanted.
I don't know how well you can see it. I'm trying to kind of hold it into the light, but
Oh yeah, you went
to
all
focus.
in on this. Damn. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that pretty
Oh
well.
yeah.
It's like one of those lazy summer days you have nothing to do. So you go to, as everyone does, you go to comicvine.com and you look up all the creative teams of Green Lantern from the beginning of time until the most recent, and you just write it down like a normal person.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Everybody does that. Yeah. It's a normal Tuesday.
And I mean, honestly, the fact that you haven't cross-referenced them with all the other work that those creative teams have done is a little abnormal, Brandon.
Well, I may or may not have done the exact same thing for Flash that I also have in this notebook that I forgot that I did. So I definitely don't have any kind of sociopathic tendencies, I promise.
None.
As long as you're not repeating it, I think.
Obviously not.
Well, the funny thing is, where it stops is the Flash Volume 5, or the fifth, the fifth publishing title of the Flash, which was that Joshua Williamson, which just goes to show you how old this thing is.
Was that Joshua? I thought the one with Bart was the fourth one.
You said that.
Well, I have the Volume 2, which is 1987 to 2009, and then Volume 3 is the because it takes like a little break.
Bart.
Yeah, because the Bart series was technically Flash, the Fastest Man Alive.
Right.
That's why I don't have that one. And then Volume 4 was the New 52 one. Or no, Volume 4 was the New 52 one. Volume 3 was right before Flashpoint, the Brightest Day title. And then Volume 5 was Reaper with Joshua Williamson.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the Green
All right,
Lantern
tangent
series,
over.
do you just have like the main Green Lantern title, or do you have like Green Lantern Corps and New Guardians and stuff like that?
It was just the Green Lantern title. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right,
That would
fair
have
enough.
taken a separate list. Although I did technically, no, I didn't actually. Well, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I technically put a note under the Green Lantern Volume 6, 2018 to 2021 by Grant
Right.
Morrison. I put a note under that said, not a singular Green Lantern title, technically, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, 2016
Yeah.
to 2018, lasted 15 issues, all written by Robert Venditti.
Yeah, which, funny enough, I actually found Volume 5 of that at Dollarama today.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I really needed friends in high school.
Rightfully deserving.
Oh my god. It's just
Right.
Jesus Christ. It's like
Rightfully
3 pages
deserving
long.
of the title librarian.
Yeah.
This is hey, honestly, man, it's perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, enough tangents. So tangent over. We're going to jump into something a little poisonous. I got nothing. Poison Ivy number 7, and Josh is going to tell us about that.
I guess so. All right. Written by G. Willow Wilson, Edgar Hahn as the guest artist this issue, with colors from Arif Prianto, lettering from Hassan Atsami Al-How, with a cover from Jessica Fong. And man, she can really kill these Poison Ivy covers. I don't know if I've seen her anywhere else, and it's not popping into my mind, but man, for a cover artist, she's awesome. They're awesome. Newly self-proclaimed avenging eco-terrorist, Poison Ivy, has decided to make Parson, Montana, home of the company Future Gas, her next destination. The company is using experimental fracking procedures, and it catches Ivy's eye. She looks into it and finds creatures similar to what she had seen back in issue number 4, the mindless spawns of Woodrue. She defeats them and decides, without eating them, and decides to investigate further. She applies for and gets a job at the company, naturally. On her first day, she's busted for spying by the owner of the company. She, the boss, knows who Poison Ivy is, and she is someone from her past, Ivy's past, at the university that also worshipped the ground that Jason Woodrue walked on. She uses a device that neutralizes Pam's powers, and without them, she is overtaken by the Lamia fungi. Jesus. As of yet unnamed boss lady walks out and an assistant walks in a few minutes later, Pamela Isley isn't looking very lively. I'm really digging where this feels like it's going, and that it's just a 2 or 3 mini arcs about Ivy going super eco-terrorist in each little like storyline. I could read that for a while, as long as it doesn't get cookie cutter template style. You know what I mean? Then I'll still
Definitely,
be in. Yeah. I've been enjoying this up until now, and that certainly hasn't changed with this issue. It's a lot of fun, interesting plot points, and a not so clean solution with awesome art all the way through. Yeah, man. Poison Ivy number 7 gets a 9.
I also really enjoyed this issue. I think this one was, I don't know if I was on for 6, but 6 I thought was a solid conclusion, though still felt like I kind of needed something more. But this definitely feels like it's pulling me back in, seeing Ivy, with a whole new setting, which we're used to at this point since she's been moving around a lot. But definitely one that is gonna push her, I think, green abilities to their limits, even with the enhancements that she has from Woodrue now. But I'm really interested in this new CEO lady who kind of has, some other kind of connection to the green, and also has a past with Woodrue, and as she alludes to, it was probably very similar to Pamela Isley's own experiences. So it'll be interesting to see G. Will Wilson kind of expand on that. New art team.
Agreed.
Kind of odd at first, definitely an adjustment at first, but I think there's some panels in here that look really, really good. And if I remember correctly, this artist is one of the artists from the Milestone Initiative, so this is like one of their first works on a comic ever.
That's
So,
cool,
you know,
man.
props
I
for,
mean,
doing a pretty serviceable job.
they are listed as a guest artist, but yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the
Yeah,
art in the issue.
definitely. Yeah.
Mm.
So this one got an 8 out of 10 for me. I'm, still in the series, but I think this one was a little better than some of the previous issues.
That's pretty cool. I honestly, weird as it is, I don't think I even realized that there was a different artist. I think it just kind of flowed for me very well with the designs and the art, the styles. I thought it was perfect. So I really enjoyed the art in this issue. The story was just a little dull compared to what we had in the first 6 issues. Not saying it was bad, like it was still an interesting story, just compared to the first arc. The first arc was amazing, and this arc, while it is starting out, I'm curious to see how it'll go. Uh, it's an interesting new direction. I'm also down for this CEO as a villain. We'll see where it goes. And we did get kind of a promise in issue 6 that Harley will show up at some point. So I'm curious if Harley is going to come to Pam's rescue next issue, since she's seemingly dead now. So
Well, I mean, we know that's not going to be the case,
yeah,
at least for a few more issues.
yeah. There's still another 5 to go. So
Those are
yeah,
some
we'll see. We'll see.
extensive notes, Brandon.
Oh
What's
yeah.
up?
I said those are some extensive notes.
Yes, yeah. I really went all in.
Oh wow. Oh man, I can't wait to dig into this.
And,
You shared a picture of them in Discord. That's what we're
yeah,
what we're
it's
gabbing
3
about.
pages.
Yeah, an original work from the librarian. I love this.
I know.
Yes. Someday we're
Uh,
gonna need to get those signed, Rob.
yeah.
Oh my god.
So this is for Poison Ivy number 7. I gave it 8.5 out of 10. Uh, Fairly good read, I must say. Still one of the best books of the year.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of DC's best books right now are their limited series, which is interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says.
And worrisome
exactly,
at the
but
same time.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you have good content that has a conclusive ending, but at the same token, by the same token, it's like they all end. There's nothing that's ongoing, which is a little odd to have. But maybe that's what the market wants right now.
It could be. It's easier to collect, and
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
easier to tell a story, right?
Yeah.
You get less filler, which I don't know. I do enjoy ongoings, I think, more than miniseries.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, that was our books for the week. Now we're going to jump into our top 3 and favorite moments, if you have one. Brandon, you want to start us off?
Absolutely. So at number 3, I have Poison Ivy, just another solid addition to the series this week. But again, I think this one was the one that really kind of pulled me back in and got me excited. At number 2, I had Sword of Azrael number 5. As Rob said, I think we're all going to be a little sad to see the series go, but hopefully it'll go out with a bang. And if this issue is any indication, I'm looking forward to it, and I think we can expect something good. But my number 1, physics aside, is going to Batman number 130. Because it was just a damn good issue, really well polished and put together and exciting. And I don't know, I think we've talked about it a couple of times, but it just feels really good to have Batman, the main Batman title anyway, in a place where it's exciting to read, and that's definitely what I feel right now.
Yeah.
So props to that. But my favorite moment of this week was quite difficult to choose because there were many, but I have to give it to the first story from Dark Crisis Warzone, number 1, because I'm a sucker for these. I don't even know if you can call it slice of life moments, but the more relatable moments. But it's just Linda and Iris going back and forth about Wally and Barry, and it was that whole thing of like, does it ever get better? No, it really doesn't. Like, I don't know. There's just something so charming about that. I couldn't help but smile. So that was my favorite moment for this week.
All right, Rob, I'm still trying to figure something else out for my top 3. So why don't you go first?
Okay. And number 3, I had Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing. Really enjoying that one as much as I'm enjoying number 2, Sword of Azrael, which is, I already stated, I'm loving the anime influence. And number 1, I also had Batman number 130 because it's like a summer blockbuster of an issue.
Mhm.
It's like Fast and the Furious, but Batman. And I think they actually did a movie where they did fall from space in cars.
It
I
is
could be-
it is all about family too. And you
It's all
really
about family.
the
Really,
arc
yeah, it
has
is.
been all about family.
Yeah. No, if
Wait,
you
hold
okay, if
on.
you're gonna say it like that, you got to say it in a mumble growl. It's all about
It's all
family.
about.
No.
It's all about family.
I
Wait,
don't-
hold on.
I don't want
Isn't
to
Brandon
embarrass
the one that
myself
does
by
this
doing
good? Yeah, Brandon, you're the one that
I
does
don't
it
want to
awesome.
embarrass myself by doing a poor Vin Diesel voice. I
Hey,
have
Do it
too much
again.
respect.
You've already done it
Oh,
before.
God.
That's how I know you
Vin
do it.
Did
Diesel
I
better.
does a
really?
poor Vin Diesel
Oh my
voice.
God.
Yes. Come on, I'm waiting.
Oh, wait, no, I can't. Next time, I promise.
Next.
I gotta make sure I'm in
It's
the
all
right
about
place for it.
family.
I was probably sick or something.
Was it when you were on that cough medicine?
It very well might have been.
Maybe
Honestly.
it was.
I
Maybe
hardly
it
even
was.
remember what I said.
Oh
Yeah.
man. To this day, it's still
Um,
my favorite
anyway.
recording session.
Oh my God.
It
I'm glad
was
you
the
had
first
fun.
time I ever heard Brandon cuss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I wasn't thinking. So
Yeah,
it just
it's
kinda
like,
slipped out.
something. He said something like, "I don't know what the fuck they were thinking," or something along those
Yeah.
lines,
Oh my
and I was
God.
like, "Wait a minute,
What?
Yeah, I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Oh, I totally did.
As for a favorite moment, though, I had a bit of a hard time picking, but one that kept coming back to me was in Batman with Bruce and Tim heading off into the snow to fight Failsafe as Batman and Robin because semantics matter. Um, I just thought it was a
No
really
man.
cool page. With just the two of them going off together, slow walk
Mm.
into a run, and then just boom, like they never lost it. It was always
Yeah.
there. All right, eighth spot, Josh.
All right. Number 3, after much deliberation between Monkey Prince and this title, I'm gonna give it to Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing. Number 3.
I was in
Number
the exact
2.
same position.
Yep. Number 2, Sword of Azrael. Number 5, it's just as great as the other book. The other one, I'm more into. So number 2, I got Sword of Azrael. Number 5, and number 1, I gave to Poison Ivy. Number 7 continues to be outstanding, even with a guest artist on the book. Like Rob said, it flowed so well. I could tell that it was a different artist, but it was not a problem for me at all. And that shit kind of jars me a little bit when that happens, and this time it didn't. Y'all mentioned that there were several good moments and y'all only picked one, so I'm going to pick up the rest of them. Most of the jokes in the Joker made me laugh, but my favorite one was when the Joker said, the doctor said I needed a brain transplant. I told him I didn't want one, but he changed my mind. I fucking love that shit. The panel of the little kids wearing the Hellbat suit helmets, that was kind of funny. Poison Ivy, when the old lady asked Pam after she defeated the creature, "Are you in martial arts or something?" And Pam says, "I'm in landscaping." and then finally Batman saying, "I told Clark that wearing trunks was a good idea."
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
A lot of
I
good
kind of forgot
one-liners.
he said that because I was just surrounded by what the fuck is science.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
My head was spinning.
Now, when I read that, I was like, yes, dive head first into the ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Again, I just that feels more like Looney Tune physics, like Wile
It
Coyote
does.
strapped to a rocket, and somehow he's still
Fucking
alive,
right.
even though the damn thing exploded.
Yeah. Well,
It's a trick they learned from Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, I guess so.
oh, I know, I get it. This is the Batman from Multiverses.
Yes, clearly.
Shit. Clearly. Man, you know what? I haven't played that game in so fucking long.
No, I kind of got tired of it. Too many tryhards. And yes, if you're listening and you're a diehard Multiverses player, yes, I'm talking about you. And yes, you can say skill issue and I suck and all that jazz and teabag on my player's corpse. I don't care. You play too much. Go outside. Touch grass. Come on.
Touch
Rant
grass.
over.
Touch grass. I like it.
All right, so that was our favorite moments, and now it's time for your favorite moments. It is
The biggest thinker.
Oh, that's nasty.
Hey, you.
amen to that. All right, fellas, what made your stink list this week?
The book that cost me a lot of money and gave me very little in return, man. I'm so mad that this costs extra money and I got a damn anthology. This is not the first time Dark Crisis Dark Crisis has done it to me. So Warzone is on my stink list. Pew.
Yeah, it is also
Um,
on my stink list. Warzone. I think I'll
Yeah,
just throw that in
I
there.
would say, well, not a terrible issue. It's definitely the weakest one I have this week, which is surprisingly high for most of the titles this week. But yeah, no, it's not terrible, just not great or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know about it.
I think there was more boring or bad than good in the 5 stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and more bad than boring. I mean,
I want to flush it again.
indeed.
Yeah. At least I think there's one more one shot, if I remember right, and then we finally get the last issue, and then it's done.
What's the next one shot?
I don't remember. I was thinking about it today, and now I just don't freaking remember. It comes out next week.
Dark Crisis on Infinite Frontier, Warzone, Apocalypse, End of the World, Multiverse Saga. Number 1.
Yeah, that's the one. No, it is. Where are you? I know you're. Oh, Dark Crisis Big Bang. Oh, okay, so it's technically Dark Crisis tie-in. It's that Mark Waid. Here's the new multiverse thing. The new map of the multiverse.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what we needed.
So it's yeah. So while there's not really, as far as we could tell, there's not really going to be any story development. It's technically a Dark Crisis tie-in, but more so just showing off the new multiverse and where everything sits right now. I'm into it. It's called Dark Crisis because it's tied to Dark Crisis, but realistically, they could put it out at any time of year and just call it the map of the multiverse. It's not the first time I've done something like this. So.
They'd almost have to call it Map of the Multiverse 2022.
Yep.
Don't even volume numbers that shit. Just put a year on it.
Yeah, like an annual.
Yes,
Map of the Multiverse
sir.
2022, number 1, part 6. Okay, so
goddamn map.
Any last minute notes before we head off?
I don't think I have anything else.
No,
No.
I'm just really glad to be reminded that Dark Crisis is almost over. Thank you
2
for
more
that,
weeks.
Rob. Thank you
week
for
of
that.
Christmas. It's DC's Christmas present to you, Josh.
Thank you, DC. Thank you
Dark
so
Crisis is
much.
finishing. Actually, what I'm most looking forward to, I cannot wait for Dark Crisis number 7. It might be my most anticipated book of the month because we get to see how Joshua Williamson ends his event title.
Oh,
And
you
I'm
want to
very
rub it in
curious to
my
see
face if he lands it.
how he's going to end it, because the last book he had actually had a decent ending. But
What book?
I honestly Here's the thing. I don't
book?
freaking remember.
What book?
I just remember, like, oh, rogues.
Oh, that don't count. That was alt universe.
I don't care. I like
He
it.
could do anything he wanted, and honestly, nothing mattered because it's
But at
that
least
alt
it
universe.
ended well. That's the point. And the first story arc in Robin had a decent.
Take what you can get, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how this is going to end. If he can stick the landing or not. We'll find out. As for, like, that's in a couple of weeks, so we'll have a lot to talk about then. As for now, yeah, Brandon, do you have any last minute notes?
No, I think that's pretty much it for me.
That's it. All right. Well, I guess that means that's our show. So remember, you can help support us by going to buymeacoffee.com/NAR podcasts. Check us out on Twitter at Not a Robot Comics and subscribe to our Substack for bonus reviews, articles, and more. And as always, there's only one way we say goodbye around here. Until next time.
Be good to each other.
And don't be a robot.
Right on.
Oh, we
Hello,
are pretty groovy.
humans. We're white.
Pretty groovy.
Oh, yes, we are. For all the Bruce Campbell fans out there, you know what that's about. So it's Rob here with Not a Robot Podcast's DC Comics Review Show number 124, the world's greatest comic show about the world's greatest superheroes. And with me, as always, is Brandon.
Hello, everyone.
And Josh.
What?
You're gonna say,
Or you are.
If you ever want to get in touch with us, you can send us an email to comics@notarobotpodcast.com, and you can get us on Twitter too at notarobotcomics and Instagram NAR Comic Books. And if you feel like supporting us, visit buymeacoffee.com/NAR podcasts, where you can also access our very own Discord server. And with some support on buymeacoffee.com, you can find your way into the server to talk all things geek with us and other fans. One day we'll have them. One day. As for today's books, we are looking at Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 3, Dark Crisis Warzone, number 1, Batman, number 130, Sword of Azrael, number 5, and Poison Ivy, number 7, as well as a few honorable mentions. But before we get into that, let's get into the news, if there's any at all. How you guys doing this week anyway? Is there, yeah.
I'm doing very well, much better than last week, which is nice.
Very good.
I was very sick, and I was holding on for dear life, but I made it through, and I'm feeling a lot better now, which is nice. But that's it on the personal side, I guess.
That's good to hear.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I survived the plague.
Well worthy of applause.
Yeah. And Josh, how you doing?
Oh man, I'm sore as hell. Apparently Wednesdays at 9 o'clock is just my time for my weekly physical torture therapy. Um, yeah, and every week I come home and they've got me doing different exercises, so my body can't even get used to it. They're sadistic shits. That's all I'm saying. They say it's to
That
make me
sounds
feel better, but I think that they just like to hurt people.
A little sadistic, are they?
Yeah. I feel like you have to be a little sadistic for that kind of job.
The dominatrix out in public.
Exactly.
Legal BDSM. Yeah.
Mhm.
Does it
How
hurt
about you,
when
Rob?
you move your arm like this? Okay, let's move it further.
Yeah. How about you, Rob? What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Very little. Got a new Green Lantern figure, so I'm just playing with that right now.
Oh,
Yet
let me see.
another
Let me
one.
see. Hold it up
A
to the
little
camera.
John
So
Stewart.
typical. Well,
Oh,
our,
hey, I
our
like
audience
his
cannot
lantern.
see, but yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is a John Stewart, very
It's-
well sculpted John Stewart, if I may say so
Yeah.
myself.
It's
Yeah.
the McFarlane Superheroes line, if I remember. It's
That
like
makes
a
sense.
little 6-inch figures. Yeah,
Gotta make the
Yeah.
camera bigger so I can see the face.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
it is.
Very
I
blurry.
normally
Nice.
zoom in, I guess.
It's not
Yeah.
it's not
I like the
most
lantern.
attractive figure, but it looks cool. And I did not have enough John Stewart figures, so I figured why not.
Yeah, and McFarlane
Yeah.
toys are usually pretty well sculpted, so that's always a
Oh,
good
yeah.
pickup.
Yeah, and the paint job
Yeah.
is amazing. I must admit, it's
Mhm.
really good.
The lantern not being solid and being free swinging, I fucking love that. In a
Well, it's
figure.
detachable. It's its own little thing.
Oh, see, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. That's
Nice.
how it should be. Accessories. They shouldn't just be
Exactly.
something that you flop in their hand.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like it. Apart from that, that's about it.
Oh,
A lot of Christmas shopping.
Mhm.
Yeah, Christmas shopping. Jesus, wait until Haley gets older, my man. Wait until Haley
Yeah.
gets older. It does
we've
nothing but
already
get more
got-
expensive.
Yeah,
Man.
we've already spoiled her for her first Christmas. She's not even a year old yet. Who's already spoiled?
A 6-year-old came into the room the other day, and I was playing Gotham Knights, and I was Nightwing. So he looks at me, and then he runs out of the room. And when he comes back in, he's got like a 9-inch tall Nightwing, and he put him in the cup holder on my wheelchair, and he's like, "This is for good luck while you're playing."
No,
That's very
that's
sweet.
nice.
I shit you not, I did awesome.
Oh yeah,
That
it brought good luck.
is not an easy game.
No,
No,
I
all
gotta
the
get-
little
I bought it. I gotta
side
play it
missions
now.
and shit, man. It is not an easy game.
Mhm.
I mean, I imagine unless you're playing it on easy.
Yeah. No. Easy. I stopped playing easy a long time ago. Figure if you go
Yeah.
straight to the hard difficulty, you're just gonna be good at the game once you can stop screaming at it.
You know what? Exactly. For anybody that puts it on easy, those are the people that complain that games are nothing but button mashers.
Or it's if you just want like a relaxing afternoon, just beating people up, sure. But I find that gets boring.
That's what Hyrule Warriors is for.
Hey,
Yes.
hey. I mean, yeah, the missions take a while, but some of them can be a little challenging.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. It's just for a
Okay.
nice, relaxing afternoon of beating the snot out of people. Hyrule Warriors. Calamity, something.
Yeah.
Age of Calamity.
Age of Calamity. Yeah. I mean, either one really. Still got to finish Age of Calamity.
That's the only one that I've got.
They're both really good.
Brandon doesn't know what we're talking about because he doesn't have time for video games.
No, I have not played in a while. And if the
Oh,
critics are to be believed, the Gotham Knight's games are not that rewarding apparently. But yeah, no, I haven't played a video game that feels like a really long time. So hopefully I'll
Hey,
have some time soon.
the critics also think that Titanic was a fantastic movie and Tom King is an amazing author.
Yes. Well,
So
one of those
there's
things is
that.
true.
Oh.
I'll let the audience decide which one of those things is true. I won't give it away.
Oh,
gosh.
Jack. Oh, Josh. That ain't even nice. I hate that fucking movie so much. We were just talking about it on the Screens podcast about how much it aggravates me that James Cameron is lauded, yet he's put out fucking movies like Titanic.
I mean, it was.
I actually heard somebody defend it that the bad acting was intentional. I said, in a blockbuster movie? Bullshit. Anyway, I'll go off on a tangent about the Titanic movie.
Yeah, well, let's figure out what's going on in the comic world first.
You're talking about bad acting in Titanic, but Billy Zane was doing his best, damn it.
Fair enough.
Yes.
All right, yeah, so
Yes.
I did not find any comic book news. Did any of y'all?
Nah.
Nothing major really. Just I had kind of forgot this was even happening, but I was at my LCS and was shocked to see on top of the new books pile was a book called Ronin Book 2, which I think just because I've been so busy, it completely slipped out of my mind. But yes, there is a sequel to the 1983 Ronin on stands now, which is kind of shocking.
Cow.
It's a little pricey, but I read the first issue earlier this week and was quite impressed, I have to say, given that it's been almost 40 years since that first one came out. So it's an impressive return to the world of Ronin, and it'll be interesting to see how the series plays out. I think it's only going to be 3 issues, or it might be 6 because the first series was 6, but I'm not entirely sure. But each one is kind of like oversized, so you're really getting a bulk of content in each issue. But yeah, no, go check it out if you were a fan of the original series. And then just want to give a shout out to our friend, our dear friend and scholar, Mr. Rob Argel, who visited a very, very popular
I was just going to bring that up
this weekend. Yeah, well, I figured I'd embarrass you a little bit more. Visited a very popular creator this weekend over in Canada, and in the supreme act of kindness, did something that I did not expect, but something that absolutely made my day. But I'll let Rob explain because he was actually there.
Right. So first off, shout out to Treehouse Collectibles in Scarborough, Toronto, Ontario, for hosting Jeff Lemire for the afternoon last Saturday, which I got to go to, as Brandon mentioned. He was doing a book signing, but for about an hour and a half. There was a small line consistently. It was quite good. He had first issues of his latest books available. All the comics were on sale. He had some big books out, including I got a copy of Essex County, the complete edition, for Brandon, signed and doodled by Mr. Jeff Lemire. Who was the doodle of? I still haven't read Essex County, so I don't know who the character is.
So the doodle was of the main character in the first Essex County graphic novel called Tales from the Farm. And the main character's name is Lester, and he's pretty much your stereotypical kind of shy comic book reader, but he lives on a farm, so he's even more isolated. And that first Essex County is one that hits deep for me because I read it when I was in middle school, and it was definitely very personal. So Rob sent me the picture of that, and it was personalized and had my name and the little sketch of Lester. It was it was like slightly emotional for me. I was just so taken aback because it was just incredibly kind, and I hadn't even asked. I was just thrilled that Rob was finally getting to go to a signing because those are always a lot of fun.
My first one.
Was not expecting this at all. So just wanted to give him, his proper shout out and embarrass him a little bit more, even though I already did that on my Instagram story.
You're very welcome, and thank you for that. Honestly, man, I wouldn't have been able to go without you, so it was the least I could do to show my appreciation for pointing me in that direction, because I didn't even know that shop existed. That's a side of Toronto I don't get to very often. So.
I'm just glad you had fun. I miss going to store signings. I mean, conventions are fun, but store signings can always be a really fun personal time.
Yeah. Especially, like, I actually found some stuff I've been looking for a while. I actually found
Yeah.
a Cheetor transformer from the recent Kingdom line that I missed,
Nice.
and this is the only other one I've seen since the friggin' line launched like 2 years ago. So,
Oh man.
yeah.
Hey Rob,
Good
I
times.
always enjoyed Transformers, but I don't know that much about Beast Wars.
Right.
I saw the trailer.
Oh,
I'm
God,
interested.
here we
I'm
go.
interested just
Okay.
because maybe I'm not. But from what I
Phone's going
understand,
down.
both Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime are going to be in it. I don't think I got the Beast Wars name right, but
Yes. No, you got it right. It's Optimus Primal. They just took Optimus Prime and made it a beast type. It remains to be seen what the hell's going to be going on, because the whole story with Beast Wars, when it came out back in, I think, like 1994, while it took place in prehistoric times, that was because of some time travel shenanigans, and the Maximals and Predacons are actually descendants of the Autobots and Decepticons. So the entire battle on Earth between the Autobots and Decepticons are just ancient history for the Maximals and Predacons. And even in the series, because they traveled back to prehistoric ages and took on animal forms, they actually found the Ark and the Nemesis with all the Autobots and Decepticons on prehistoric Earth, dormant before they went to G1. So how the movie is going to play that out is going to be very interesting to see, and I hope they do Beast Wars at least some justice, because I'm already not a big fan of the fact that the beast modes still look like robots. That kind of defeats the purpose of being in disguise. You know, if there's a giant robot gorilla swinging around a jungle, that's kind of freaking noticeable, as opposed to a furry gorilla, because that's kind of just normal. So what the hell's going on here? That's just my opinion.
does it make
I will
sense
take
that
your word
Prime
for
and
it.
Primal will both be in there at the same in the same movie?
Yes and no.
Oh, I figured it was going to be something like that.
Like, it depends on the continuity you look at, because even the most recent Transformer series that was on Netflix, they had the Maximals there as well, but I think that I don't remember how that happened. I think they traveled to Earth. There might have been some time travel involved, and they met up with the Maximals and Predacons there. So it does not look like any time travel is going to be happening here. The movie takes place in 1994, so it's probably just going to be another faction of Transformers that are on Earth for some reason.
Sweet.
I don't know. Maybe
We'll
they
wait
think
and
time
see what
travel is a
happens.
wasted concept. I don't freaking know. We'll see what happens. I didn't
see
even
what
watch the
happens.
last two Transformers movies because I was kind of just done with the franchise. But I gotta show up for Beast Wars.
Yeah, and speaking of Beast Wars, man, Monkey Prince #9. I guess I'll just jump into the honorables here.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Monkey Prince #9, man. I am enjoying the shit out of this series. It's had a couple bad ones. I've had a couple but for the most part, that's a fun one. Gotham City Year 1, #3. That still sucks. And Batman and Joker Deadly Duo #2. I don't know. Like, I'm both enjoying it and I'm apprehensive about it. I don't know. I'm like really riding that fence on my tiptoes. I'm not sure which way I fall on it yet, but a lot of other people seem to like it, so take that for what it's worth. I usually disagree with everybody, so I'm probably going to end up hating
it. I haven't read the last two yet, but I will corroborate your Monkey Prince idea. It's a really fun book.
Indeed.
Right.
I really like Shifu.
Yeah, Shifu Pixie is great. Okay, so with that, we're gonna take a quick bite of the Joker. I know that sounds gross, maybe a little tasty and funny, but we'll see how it goes. I regret that one though. That was such a bad, dumb joke. Oh god.
No, I don't care. That was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so this is The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 3, written by Matthew Rosenberg with art from Carmine oh my gosh, such a mouthful of a name. Digi and Domenico. Colors from Arif Prianto and letters from Tom Napolitano. I nearly just went right into my notes. Gosh, get professional, Rob. So where we left off last issue, Harley Quinn's yacht / ferry, depending on who you ask, has the Joker on board, as well as Red Hood, who has just arrived and has pulled the Joker out the door and is beating him senseless with his fists and guns. Um, just as Jason is about to finish him off, Joker pulls the old sight gag of, "Hey, look behind you, it's Batman." And then Jason looks, and there's no Batman, as Joker falls off the side of the boat into the water below, as Jason fires many rounds into the water, strikes him in the leg, and that's the last we see. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Doom, the other Joker has met up with the Legion of Doom, who don't really want him anymore. Not for any reason in particular, but they already have a replacement with Punchline. So while they still, as Lex Luthor says, still need his brand of crime and humor, they don't necessarily need him. So he's shooed away along with his various henchmen dressed in various costumes that look a lot like various members of the Legion of Doom. Very insulting to the Legion of Doom.
Punchline seems to just put the Joker away, huh?
Yeah, which is quite surprising. They're really hitting home that she is not just another Harley Quinn. I kind of appreciate that. Over at the Gotham River, two guys are out doing some ice fishing. I feel like a city river is not a really good place to do that, but we'll see. I can tell you Lake Ontario and Toronto is not a good place to fish, but that's just me. And instead, they find the Joker's dead, deceased corpse. But then, surprise, he's not dead. He was only mostly dead. It means he's partially alive. And he asks for the guy's coat. Presumably, that guy is now dead. Because when the Joker asks for something, he takes it by force. Goes to the hospital, where once again, he semi-kidnaps a doctor and asks him to fix him because he's just been feeling ill all day. Shows off a gunshot wound to the head and then various gunshot wounds in his body. So the doctor does what he can to patch him up, and then asks him to perform brain surgery on Joker. Meanwhile, that got
without knocking him out.
Without knocking him out. The cops show up.
You know what? That was probably the most gruesome Joker scene that I've seen since the New 52, where he cut his face off. That was in the New 52, wasn't it?
Yeah, New 52, early on.
Yep.
Yeah. I just remember this was supposed to be a quick bite, and I just did a long one. My mistake. So to make a long story short, it's a really good meal. To make a long story short, since we're pretty much at the end, the cops show up, and the Joker's maybe killed that doctor, stole his jacket, and walks away. Yeah, I am just completely invested in this mystery that's going on with the two Jokers. Much better than 3. You'd think more is better, but no, less is better. Who the hell is this other Joker? Like the Joker
which
that
one
takes
is
all
the real
wounds.
Joker?
Yeah, which one's the real one? Why is this other Joker dying so much and then surviving? He's taking gunshots to the head, the chest, the leg. He's been drowned like twice. He's been beat up, cut open. Who is this guy?
You can survive a gunshot to the head. You can. But I think, to me, it feels like they're trying to point to us that the guy wandering around with the hole in his head is the clone, and the other guy is the original Joker.
And is that supposed to be a reference to the? Do you guys remember from the Grant Morrison Batman run when Joker got shot in the first issue and kind of became like that weird, creepy, truncated Joker? That the Clown at Midnight, I think, is the official title. That spoken all lowercase.
Holy
a lot more homicidal.
Shit, Brandon! I completely forgot about that.
I mean, this one doesn't speak in all lowercase. So.
No, it might just be a fun like Easter egg. I don't know, but
it could be.
It just made me think of that.
Clown Hunter does.
my only other thought was that's a weird sentence. I just realized he's not really speaking in all lowercase. Ah, fuck. Okay. My only other thought that always kind of bugged me was during Scott Snyder's run. You had the Joker, like you mentioned, Josh, cut his own face off,
So
and he
cool.
just fell out into some water in the Batcave, and then his face was found later on by Dwella Dent, and she became the Joker's daughter. So his face was still with her. So presumably he did not have a face. But then he just showed up 15 issues later, or 20 issues later,
They
whatever it
do
was,
explain that.
to
They
do
say that
Endgame.
he fell into, I forget what the chemical was called, but it was basically, it was like one of those. If you remember back to Dark Knight's Metal, they talk about how Batman was like doused in all these different chemical elements, and one of those, I forget which one it was called, but Joker also fell into that, and it repaired his face.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
trust me,
was
this is
maybe
Scott
was that
Snyder. He covers every single base,
I
sometimes
had a
too
feeling.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that the same near the end of his run, I think, when Endgame finished and Batman and
that was
Joker
yeah.
were
They
buried in that
explain it
building? Was
in
that the same?
Endgame. Yeah,
Okay.
mhm,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
yeah.
Well, fair enough. So there goes that theory. I thought maybe
Yeah.
that Joker was still alive, and then
Mhm.
the Joker in Endgame was his next Joker. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, that's all I got. I'm invested. The art's great. The story's fun. The two Jokers are very interesting. 8.75 out of 10.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. It's a solid mystery, definitely, and I do enjoy the art. It's got like this murky, gritty vibe to it that really works with the sort of tone of the story right now. I
Yeah.
think playing out this mystery in a more long form fashion is good. I don't want it to get stale, obviously, but letting it kind of sit for a little bit so you can actually think about it as opposed to just trying to solve it in 3 issues and not do a great job. Is not the best way to go. So I'm right there with you. I definitely enjoyed this, and I gave this 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, got an 8 out of 10 from me, man. Pretty much already interrupted and said everything that I wanted to say. I'm thinking maybe it's not necessarily a Three Jokers spinoff, or maybe it's both a Three Jokers spinoff, and like Brandon said, it could be actually. I'm wondering if it's not reaching back to when Joker got shot in the head, um, or if there's some kind of strange clown hunter connection with him always, as Rob said, speaking in lowercase. Um, this could be great. I'm a little apprehensive about it because it could fall flat like on a dime. But the art, man, inside and the cover too, it's all fucking grade A stuff. There's so much talent here. Um, God, we've talked way longer than we should have about this.
Yeah, I thought these were supposed to be quick. Yeah, so
The backup again is just old timey Joker stuff, but we're gonna have to talk about this next time. About which Joker we think the real
Yeah.
one is.
I mean, when we were building the schedule for this, I mentioned to Josh, like the last couple of issues, like they're good, but not much has happened, so there's not going to be much to talk about. And then I read this, I'm like, oh shit, there's going to be some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've shown a spotlight on Joker.
Yeah, may as well shine a spotlight on many other people. We need a lot of spotlights. There's a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
With Dark Crisis Warzone #1, and Brandon is going to tell us all about those people.
I will, and thankfully I managed to write everything down, so we're going to do this in a very crisp, clean, and orderly fashion. So this is Dark Crisis Warzone #1. This is an anthology focusing on various heroes and team-ups during the big battle against the Dark Army and the Secret Society in Washington, D.C. Features a variety of creative teams, though each story is lettered by Troy Peteri and colored by Matt Herms, with the exception of the third story, which has colors from Pete Pantazis. The first story, written by Jeremy Adams with art by Fernando Passarin and inks by Matt Ryan, is a team-up from the best partners in the DCU, Iris West and Linda Park. The Flash Wives go solo in this short story, and they team up to fight off members of the secret society after saving some kids. The second story, written by Frank Thierry with pencils and inks by Serge Acuna, sees Jim Corrigan team up with Raven to rejoin his soul to the Spectre. More to come on this fight between Jim and the Spectre, at least internally speaking, in the future. The third story, written by Stephanie Williams with pencils and inks from Caitlin Yarsky, very impressive, features the Amazons lending a hand and a sword against the Dark Army and the Secret Society, as well as helping people in need around Washington, D.C. At the end, Anahi has a disastrous vision of dark and death following the battle, so I'm sure we'll see more of that in the final issue of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. The fourth story, written by Matthew Rosenberg with art from George Campbell-Dias, focuses on the GLC, also lending a hand in the big fight. Focuses more on Joe Mullane and Guy Gardner, different generations of Lanterns, and making the right calls in fighting the army and protecting the core. And finally, our last story, written by Delilah S. Dawson with pencils and inks by Tom Derenick, and I put colors by Matt Herms, but you kind of already know that at this point. Follows Red Canary, still trying to prove herself as a new hero, teaming up with Black Canary, who Red Canary believed was dead after Justice League at number 75, like the rest of the DCU. There's some good stuff here. I really enjoyed the first story with Iris and Linda. Just a really fun team up, and kind of seeing them commiserate about what it's like to be married to a Flash is very entertaining. The second story was fun, but I think I'm more interested to see what the payoff is going to be rather than the story itself. The third story is serviceable, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like the general like ooh rah rah, like yeah, the Amazons are coming and helping out, and really the only interesting thing is the last part with the Anahi's vision. The fourth story is fun. It's always great having some classic GLC content, and I think the writer does a great job capturing the different personalities of each one. I liked seeing Gardner and Joe Mullane kind of spar with each other. And then the last story was fine, but I think we know so little about Red Canary that it's kind of hard to really feel attached to this character as of yet. So I'm still kind of I'm still on the fence about Red Canary, and I don't know if this story really changed my mind. But collectively, not a bad anthology, just nothing particularly impressive here. So I gave the whole thing a 7.75 out of 10.
Huh. What do you think, Rob?
My score is actually right on the nose of the Brandon too. At also 7.75. Kind of funny how that happened. I was trying to remember all the stories that happened when I was writing my review, and I had no data allowed to my phone, so I couldn't actually go back and check which ones. I actually missed the Amazons in my review. So when I did the tally score, it was out of 4 books instead of 5. So, but I think 7.75 is still a good score for this as a whole. The Iris and Linda story had a great team up. I'm hoping this flows into the Flash ongoing series. Maybe once Dark Crisis is all over and Barry maybe returns, Iris and Linda can have a few more team ups. Maybe Definitely. Barry and Wally can learn a thing or two from their wives. That'd be interesting to see. Spectre was very interesting. Will there be more? That remains to be seen. I kind of hope there is. Now that Jim Corrigan is back in the picture, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm assuming so.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do something like that and not expect there to be more down the line. Amazons was really nice to see with some evolution to the lore and Themyscira as a whole. Now that they're more accepting and open to visiting man's world in general, which is really good. Green Lanterns, the art was okay, not great. Also, some of the characters for me felt a little off. Guy Gardner, while he was still arrogant, he didn't seem like the typical arrogant. And even Joe felt like the voice was a little, I don't know. Maybe it's just been too long since I've read like a current Green Lantern book I enjoyed. So I forget That's what fair. It's like. Yeah, I don't know. They just felt off to me. I still enjoyed it. It was cool, but it's just, I don't know. Something was off for it. The Red Canary story was cool, but ultimately did feel like a 180 on her personality and story from the Dark Army one shot, where she was proving herself. She was out there. She's like, yeah, I'm a hero. Screw you, Robin. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm doing. And then now all of a sudden she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Robin's right. I gotta run away. What is that?
Well,
I
I
guess you
mean,
almost died, but what happened to the confidence you had 5 minutes ago? It's
she almost died.
yeah. I mean, hell, if she's somehow related to Ollie, this man had confidence coming out of his pores to the point that he did die twice. I'm not saying she should die, but
That's
it
what it
just
sounds like,
feels
Rob. That's what
weird.
it
It just
sounds
feels
like.
weird that her confidence just was shattered completely. Like you know you're going into a war zone where all these villains from across the cosmos are coming to kill you, and you're like, yeah, nah, I can do it. And then
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. It just felt weird to me. But 7.75 out of 10. Uh, I didn't hate it.
Huh. All right. First story, I'll keep mine very succinct. First story, good art, 100% completely useless and pointless story. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Iris and Linda?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was boring as hell to me. Second story, good art, interesting setup with Spectre and Corrigan. I gave that a 7 out of 10. Third story, the Amazon story. Another great example of art, but again, these pages were really filled for absolutely no reason. I felt like there was nothing there that really added anything significant to the lore or anything. Another 5 out of 10. The fourth story, lettering was not fun to read. Overly casual with irregular heights. The formatting was messed up. Didn't like it at all. The art was not for me, and again, more total pointlessness. This one just it was so unappealing to me. I gave it a 2 out of 10. And then story number 5. Although it was kind of pointless too, it did have a sliver of making it better in it. That was the black/red canary introduction, because I'm curious as to how that will go. If Black Canary is going to get a new protege, and I mean she's acknowledging her as a canary, so that's a good sign that we'll get more of that. And the art was pretty damn good in there. So I gave that one a 7 out of 10. But overall, even with the math, if I broke it down, I'm rounding it up and I'm giving it a 5.25 out of 10. This book was way too expensive for basically nothing at all. As far as I'm concerned, anyway.
That's completely fair. Either you guys think maybe when Red Canary is a little more established, there's going to be, we have Green Arrow and Black Canary. There's going to be Red Arrow and Red Canary. And we're going to see
Certainly possible, yeah.
Emiko show up and just pal around. I think they might be around the same age too.
Mhm. Yeah, I wouldn't
If I
rule it
remember
out.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, or
it'd be interesting.
if so, Red Arrow's just a little bit older. I'm
Yeah.
getting a young vibe from Red Canary, but I mean,
I
Red
think
Arrow
in this story
was
she said
pretty
she was a
young too.
teenager, or it was the
Yeah.
last appearance. She said she was at least a teenager. So
Yeah, Red Arrow's in current continuity. They're like in their early 20s, right?
Mm-mm.
I thought it was
Still a
late
teenager.
teens.
Yeah,
Still a
no,
teenager.
still a
Okay.
teenager. Mhm.
Oh, right on then. Okay, cool. I smell a new team coming.
Yeah, like a teen team, right? Like a new Teen
Yeah,
Titans almost. Yeah,
like a new team, and then maybe even an additional team with the newer legacy heroes, I guess. I don't know how to explain
Yeah,
that one.
that's definitely possible.
Justice League Junior.
Dude, I fucking hope not. I would rather have Super Friends than Justice League Junior.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, hell, it's
I grew up
possible.
watching that cartoon though.
Yeah, like you have all the characters you need right now to make a new version of Super Friends. Why not?
That's what I'm saying, man. Maybe call it something different.
Oh, Right. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned.